Have you ever noticed how everyone talks like they're living inside a story? My villain arc, my comeback era, character development. We all laugh when people say these things, but underneath the joke lies a genuine question. How do you know that what you're going through right now matters? Because no one wants to believe that the current chapter is meaningless. We want to believe that it is becoming something, that it is leading somewhere, that it is not simply vanishing into the ether. That's where the allure of an origin story sets in. We all know what these are. Michael Jordan gets cut from his team. Steve Jobs is cast out of Apple. J.K. Rowling faces multiple rejections before her first publication goes through. Sylvester Stallone is nearly broke before Rocky. We all know how these stories end, and that quietly recasts everything. Failure becomes foreshadowing. Setbacks become providence in disguise. Origin stories manage to transmute suffering into significance. They take what is fragmented and unfinished and render it coherent. They do all of this while offering one seductive promise. One day, it will all make sense. But that promise only works because we are looking backward, from a distance, in hindsight. Real life affords no such luxury. It does not reveal the ending, it deposits you in the middle of the story and leaves you to navigate the fog. When you're living through a difficult chapter, there is no narrator explaining its purpose. No assurance that the struggle is shaping you, no guarantee that it is leading somewhere. You do not know whether this is a turning point or a detour, whether you are being forged or merely weathered. In that moment of silence between an event and before its meaning is revealed. Yet, despite that uncertainty, we are constantly looking for a through line. Some pattern, some hidden coherence. Anything that can transform scattered moments into a story. Now here's what I saw when I finally connected the dots. Nearly 10 years ago, my family embarked on a journey that completely changed the course of our lives. My parents sacrificed a lot more than I realized at the time to send me and my siblings to the best universities. But back then, I didn't see it as an origin story. It was simply life unfolding, one moment after another, 1 year after another. And then some more years passed and the journey became ordinary. Somewhere along the way, I began to lose sight of the horizon. I forgot what it was all for. Then one day, during a conversation with my dad, he helped me retrace the steps we had taken together as a family. The risks, the uncertainties, the sacrifices, the number of years it took to get here. Listening to him felt like zooming out on my own life. For years, I had been looking at individual moments, but for the first time, a pattern had emerged in front of me, and it nearly brought me to tears. Not because something new had happened, but because, for the first time, I could finally see the story I had been living. And that reveals something I had never truly understood before. Origin stories are not recognized in the moment. They are recognized in retrospect. We tend to think meaning is concealed within events, as though life's most significant moments arrive carrying their significance with them. But they rarely do, because meaning emerges through reflection, through distance, through perspective. The event remains unchanged, but what changes is your vantage point. A sacrifice becomes visible, a lesson becomes legible, a chapter reveals its significance. Only hindsight can perform that sort of alchemy. Only hindsight can transform a sequence of moments into a narrative. So the reason everyone wants an origin story is simple. We want certainty. We want to know that our struggles are not random, that our sacrifices are not squandered, that the chapters which feel bewildering today are contributing to something much larger than themselves. But life does not grant that knowledge in advance. It grants it in retrospect. When enough time has passed, when enough dots can be connected, when enough distance finally exists to discern the contours of the journey. An origin story is not the moment everything changes. It is the moment when you finally understand why it did.